Hello, colleagues, teachers, my students, and my supervisors. We have met again to continue our lessons on verb or verbs. But let me recognize and greet and show appreciation to my lecturer, Dr. Boama Dennis Boatin, or Dr. Dennis Boama Boatin from University of Valley View. Greetings to you, my lecturer. You have done a lot for me. Now let us go on. We have tense and aspect. We have tenses and then aspect. Now let us take them one after the other because this concept confuses our students or many of we teachers when it comes to what the tenses are and what aspects also are. Now, tense. Tense is the property of a verb that indicates the time in which the action described by the verb takes place. It is a form of a verb which represents a particular point of time. It gives information about which an action is taking place. This means that it is showing, or the tense is a form of what? A verb, or a property of a verb. But with this property, it is letting us know that we have only three times or three aspects of time in the world, where we have the present, we have the past, and then the future. So when we talk of tense, we are talking about a verb property that expresses what? The present in mind, or the present time, the past time, and then the future time. So that is the meaning of what? The tense. It shows the time a certain action takes place. Either it is in the present form, either it is happened in the past, or it is going to be happen in the next future. So that is what tense. Now, we also have aspect. Now, aspect is a form of a verb which shows how the meaning of a verb is considered in relation to time, either past, present, or future. It is also a form, or it shows a future, a property of a verb, typically expressing whether an action is in progress, either the action is in progress, either the action is completed, either the action is repeated, either the action is frequently being used, either the action is in continuous form. So this one, it gives itself, or it relates itself to the tenses. So that is why in English we treat them tenses and aspects, but it has different meaning. Now let's look at the types of what? Aspects. For the aspect, we have indefinite aspect, continuous aspect, perfect aspect, and then perfect continuous tenses. And then the tenses, we also have the present tense, the past tense, and then the future tense. That is how it is. Now let us use this example to explain it. We have the girl is crying. The girl is crying. Here, we have the tense aspect in that, and then we also have the aspect of verb in that. The girl is the subject. Here, is showing us something, or the aspect of a verb in the form of what? Tense. It shows us the form of tense. It is letting us know that either the action is in the past, or the present, or the future, or happens in the future. So is here is letting us know that we are talking about the current or the present time, But the crying is also showing aspect. And what aspect is that? It is showing either it is continuing, or it has completed, or is in the form of continuous, or it's going on. That is the crying aspect. The crying is also showing that aspect. We have the lady was eating. So was is telling us that the thing has gone past. And the eating is also showing aspect. Which aspect? Eating, continuous. Continuous eating. So though it has passed, but the eating is also carrying the aspect of what? Continuous. It has not completed. It is ongoing. That is what it tells us. So that is the meaning of what? The tense and then the aspect. When we come, then we are going to look at the different tenses that we have. The simple present. It uses the base bare or bare infinitive form of the verb. Example, go, come, write. This is the present tenses. The present tenses. What form do they use? They use the lexical verb, the base, the bare infinitive, without adding any inflection or whatever to that. So we have, for example, it changes. However, it changes with the third person's singular. So the first person, we have I come, we come. The second person, you come, and then you come. And then the third person, he or she comes. And then the third person, in the plural form, we have they come. Sorry, I nearly messed up by adding that it doesn't take inflection. So it adds some inflections to that. That makes it what? The singular or the plural form, or shows the plural forms of the singular form of what? The verb, when it uses what? The third person singular or whatever. Now, what are the uses? Its uses. The simple present tense is used for a number of purposes. One, habitual present. This expresses repetitive or repeated action. We go to church on Sundays. Kofi drinks a lot. The guy brushes his teeth every morning. So it tells us the habitual present, or something that we habitually do in our life. Then B, instantaneous present. This expresses an action currently taking place. It brings the action alive, as like what the commentary does. For example, Kwame passes the ball to George. George does so to Manu. Manu receives the ball. He directs it to Kwaku Manu. So you see that when it does this, you are rather giving a commentary. And when you do that, you use what? The present tense verb to do that. So in our commentary, when you listen to all the games that they play, you see that the tenses, you have to check that as a student, just to check it, what verbs that they use. They don't use the past tense or the continuous tense or whatever. What they use is what? Instantaneous present. Adama raises her binoculars and observes the bears in the valley. So that is an example. The historic present. This expresses one comment on what has happened. I know he has left. We hear the blanks have raised interest. The banks have raised interest. We hear. Premeditated action. This expresses an action that will happen at a future time, but which is indefinite, which is definite, or we know by all means that it will come on. For example, Mary leaves for London next Monday. I see him tomorrow. E, we have universal truth. It may also be used in statements about an event which was true in the past, is true in the present, and will be true in the future. The moon appears at night. The sun rises in the east. It also describes customary practice of a group of people. Africans call For example, African call on their ancestors in the time of what? Need. We go to present continuous. How do we form the present continuous? We It uses appropriate word to be, is, are, am, was by adding ing to the main verb. For example, is uses. It is used to show an activity which lasts for a certain period of time in the present. In other words, it is used to express an action which is in the progress or still going on. Example, the baby is sleeping. It means that the baby is continuously sleeping. The students are waiting for English teacher. They are waiting for their English teacher. Again, it is used to express habitual or repeated behavior. When used this way, the verb may take adverb such as usually or always. So that man is usually teasing her. He is always drinking at the bar. 3. It is also used to refer to an event which has been definitely planned for the future. For example, the man is arriving next week. We are voting next month. Note, there are some verbs which are not normally used in the continuous form. Their simple present form are used instead. These are verbs describing sense. So when a verb is describing sense like feel and hear, we don't make it by using it in the continuous form. But we do hear our colleagues or ourselves do say something, because most of the time when when we speak it, we do understand, so we take it as granted. Verbs describing emotions and attitude: abhor, adore, agree, detest. We don't have abhorring, adoring, agreeing. We don't have that. But most of the time we do say. Verbs describing the state of mind: believe, doubt, imagine. I'm imagining, I'm doubting. We do say some of these things, but we have to be very careful of that. Verbs which deals with body reaction: ache, itch, hurt, tickle. Verbs which deals with possession: have, belong to, own, possess, possessing, belonging. That is clear. Now, present perfect. Present perfect, how do we make it? It is made up of the auxiliary verb has and have, plus past participle form of the main verb. It expresses the situation where an action that has occurred already is made to relate to the present. For example, the workers have gone home. The lady has flown to London. Uses. It is used when the activity is reported as news. For example, we have just received our salary. The people have won the case. 2. It indicates that an activity began in the past, but it extends to the present and may even continue into the future. For example, they have owned his car. They have owned his car since 1989. Or let's change it like he has owned this car since 1989. They have owned this car since 1989. Frank has played his game for 30 years now. So it is perfect tenses that we use to express an action that started and it extends to the next, or it goes into the future. We have present perfect continuous. This is a perfect continuous. This is made up of have or has plus been plus verb in the form of ing form of the particular verb. It expresses an action that started some time ago, but which has continued over a period of time, even to the present. Example, they have been traveling the whole night. She has been driving all her life. She has been working the whole day. The past tenses, simple past. It uses the ed or d forms of the verb for regular verbs but varies in irregular verbs. 2. It is used to express an action that happened at a certain time in the past. It is ended and may have no relationship with the present. He finished school in 1980. The woman went to Accra last Friday. It is also used it is used idiomatically with a present meaning to indicate desire which may not or cannot be satisfied. I wish I knew her house. It means that you can never know the house. The girl wishes she had a new dress now. It means that she is very poor and then she needs something of which she is not getting. 3. It indicates continuous which are impossible or unlikely to be fulfilled at the time of speaking. For example, if you met a mad cow now, what will you do? If you saw him now, you will run. Will you run or you will run? If ghosts really existed, could they not be seen in the street? If I knew Greek, I would be living in Athens now. It is also used idiomatically with the following expression to convey a present meaning. It is time, it is time, it is high time, it is about time, as though, as if, would rather. For example, it is time the children went to bed. This example is very important to take notice of because sometimes you will speak this English and it sounds like, hey, is it good to say that? It is time the children went to bed. You see, you have seen the children and you are addressing them that it's time that they go to bed. So, hey, what is it good we use when? That is how the tense and the rules are. It is time the children went to bed. It is high time you washed your clothes. Akuya would rather we Akuya would rather we came tomorrow than next week. They brag as if their house contained furnished room. She is talking and behaving as though she owned the house. It is about time we advertised our new soap. This kind of statement do normally comes into objective questions when BEC and then the WASI it mostly comes. So you have to check these things when it happens like that. 2. Continues to indicate a past habitual or repeated activity which does not occur anymore. For example, for years ago, we worked at the bank. In the past, people slept on trees. Past continuous form. It is made up of was and were plus the ing form of continuous of the particular verb. It is used to express an action that continued over a period in the past. For example, the students were studying through the night. My mother was working the whole morning. It is used idiomatically with a present meaning to indicate wishes and continues that the speaker knows or appears to think cannot be fulfilled at the time of speaking. For example, I wish I were swimming in the River, Niger River now. Do you wish you were speaking French like the Togolese teacher? If they were living in Ghana, they would know the true state affairs. Now, it is also used to indicate an action that was going on at the same time as another. They were sleeping when it was raining. The girls were cooking while the boys were dancing. When I was coming, the players were dressing. So that is how we make use of. It may also be used to express a past repeated or habitual activity which lasted for a period of time. When used this way, adverbials of frequency may be used. For example, the man was always drinking. He was often eating mangoes. She was frequently crying. Past perfect. It is made up of had plus the past participle form of the verb. It is used to express a situation where two actions occur in the past with one occurring before the other. The first action is put in the past perfect, and then the second one is put in the simple past. The robbers had run away when the police arrived. When the doctor came, the patient had regained consciousness. It is used to indicate an unfulfilled condition. For example, if I had sold this book, I would not have passed the examination or the exams. Had Kwame arrived earlier, he would have taken first. He would have spoken first. All these things that using conditional sentences, we will come and then treat it as one aspect or topic that we will use or make video on. That is the conditional sentences. We will treat that one for your understanding. Past perfect continuous. It is made up of had plus been plus the ing form of the particular verb. It is used just like the past perfect tense, but the first action covers a period of time. We had been waiting for almost an hour before the teacher arrived. He had been teaching for an hour before the students arrived. The future time. Future activities are expressed in English through the use of modal auxiliaries, will and shall. Ali will win. Ali shall win. The use of be plus going. The usage has the implication that the event has been definitely planned for the future. For example, they are going to buy a car. They are going to play the game next week. The simple present. My wife traveled to Paris tomorrow. The present continuous. The match is starting at 2 o'clock. Other ways to express the future time can be expressed or express the future time. Be plus to infinitive. He is to quit. Abeta is to dance. The be plus about to. Kofi is about to write a letter. Johnson is about to win the election. All these things expresses what? The future. The last one or aspect that we need to treat is linking verb, which is another type of what? Verb. The linking verb. These are verbs which provides a link between the subject and then the adjective or complement, which comes after the verb in a statement. When we were treating nouns, we talked about what? Noun function as what? Complement. And when noun will be able to serve or a function as complement, it makes use of what? Linking verb or copular verbs. So think about that, our knowledge and the functions of what now. Let's consider the following example. Kofi is sick. So the word is showing or linking sick to Kofi. Johnson is my friend. So Johnson is here is bringing or making my friend as a complement to Johnson. In this sentence, in the sentences, sick refer back to Kofi and my friend refer back to Johnson. Therefore, there is a link between the subject of the sentence and then the adjective and norms. So we have, for example, examples like is, are, seem, appear, lose. That are some of what the linking verbs that we know or exist. We have more example. You have to find out that and then you make good use of that. I end here for the verbs. Our next lesson, we are going to adjective. So let us all be with this channel, or refer or share it to our friends, or make sure that we give it to our children who are entering to SS, who are now going to SS, or who are in SS, to make good use of this channel. Thank you very much. As usual, my name is Al Hassan Abbas, the Corps Vice Chairperson in Ahafo Ano North. Thank you.